You're listening to The Josh Guillory Show, your base for truth, common sense, and a good time.
Basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Josh Guillory Show. I am your grateful host, and in studio with me, my main man, Jamie Angel.
What is happening? We don't know what the bleep we're doing.
Man, ain't mincing no words over there. We are broadcasting live from the Beal and Bear studios right here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Your hometown lawyers, call those guys over there, Beal and Bear. I know those folks. Good people over there. You got legal questions, call them. Call them. Yeah, our president did not mince his words. Let's dive right in. So this whole Iran-Israel showdown has shown us so much. So much. But I read an article from the New York Post. Glenn Reynolds wrote it, and he laid it out pretty plain. We learned something else. You know, Trump's airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, those 3 strikes, very targeted over the weekend, very good move. It wasn't just a major military move. I want us to remember that. It was a national security masterclass. This is what Glenn Reynolds calls it, a national security masterclass. I agree. That exposed something even more shocking. You know, this new Trump White House thing? Yeah, they're kind of competent. And he goes on to say, as a matter of fact, he says it's firing on all cylinders. And I agree with you, Glenn Reynolds. All right, so let's talk about a few facts now that they're starting to develop, and we're starting to know a little bit more about these surgical airstrikes that the president authorized after he notified Congress through the Speaker and the Senate President. So the mission was called Operation Midnight Hammer.
Midnight Hammer.
Bring it hammer.
Bring it down, baby.
Who do you think made up that name?
Pulled him out of a hat.
Probably. B-2 bombers traveled across the globe, entered Iranian airspace undetected, dropped 30,000-pound bunker busters directly into ventilator shafts of deep nuclear sites, and got out without a shot fired. Iran was caught completely by surprise. There were no leaks, no warnings. Trump announced the strike on Truth Social as the planes were already heading home. Of course, the Democrats and media had no clue. The White House kept them out of the loop because, what good would that have done?
Can you imagine?
Oh my
God! Tell us
God.
ahead of time. Well, no kidding.
Man, they would have personally went to Iran and told them.
I would have told Fetterman.
He would have been the only Democrat I told. And trustworthy, seems like. I don't know. So Iran believed Schumer's narrative that Trump always chickens out. Remember after Trump had said the president gave pretty harsh warnings to Iran. Of course, our Senate minority leader, of course, would put his ego aside and own personal gains aside, and definitely make sure that at least we're standing up for our country and at least keep our mouth shut. At minimum, can you do that? Okay, if you're not gonna, if you can't just help it, can you not insult us? Can you not do that? No, couldn't do that. Says he always chickens out.
Of what?
Exactly.
Like, what are you chicken out from?
But is Schumer not tired of being wrong so many times?
Is he not tired of existing?
I mean, there's like expiration date on eggs.
Always angry.
There's expiration date on bread. There can't be expiration date on crazy like that, like just totally off.
I don't know.
I don't know. So the deception included false signals that Trump and Netanyahu were feuding. Remember that? Him and Bibi got into it. I don't know, though. This morning, he was not too happy. Not too happy with Bibi. I wouldn't have been either. I would not have been either. I know the whole, you give him 12 hours and all. I thought that was, when I first saw 12 hours, like, oh, man, that's just enough. Yeah. That's just enough time. But I mean, within the first hour, Israel did that, and that's why we got that response from President Trump. But anyway, Pete Hegseth is now Secretary of Defense. We know that. J.D. Vance is Vice President. Marco Rubio is earning real credit. Trump's cabinet is lean, smart, and ruthless, and we have the complete opposite of what we had the last 4 years.
Dude, Marco Rubio.
Yeah, man.
I mean, this dude.
Yeah.
What? He's a statesman.
Very much.
He has faced the impossible head on and dealt with it accordingly.
Well, and look, it's been hard to navigate those waters working for Trump in those types of roles. Just because you're pulled in so many directions, you're attacked in so many directions, very unfairly a lot of times. And but yeah, Marco Rubio, his background in the Senate probably helps a lot. Unanimous vote. You didn't think that would happen, huh? Of course, 1 or 2 Democrats said they regret it. Now.
Got a point. Kill switch that good effing afternoon, gentlemen.
Yeah. Kill switch.
In theme with the
of course.
with the intro.
Of course. All right, let's talk about this, though. Let's talk about this whole strike. This is what a commander-in-chief looks like. Not just tough talk, not just paint with a broad brush either, but someone who took surgical action. That is very commander-in-chief-like. Iran's nuclear ambitions took a massive hit while half of Washington was still posting their brunch selfies. No congressional leaks, none of that drama. No Pentagon press briefing warning the enemy, we're going to get you. You better hide those nuclear facilities. Pretty please. Pretty please. No heads up to the New York Times. Trump moved like a wartime president should. Fast, quiet, precise. The same crowd that cheered Obama dropping bombs on Libya and Syria is now calling Trump a war criminal. Man, that's not policy. That's mental illness. These are the same professional protesters who 1 week wave Hamas flags, then Mexican flags, now Iranian flags. They don't love peace. They hate America. And while they whine about the process and pronouns, Trump's White House just reminded the world what peace through strength actually means. This wasn't chaos. It was coordination, the kind of execution you get when the adults are back in charge. Look at the team Trump built this time. Pete Hegseth, he's way more than a Fox News guy. He's proven that. And look at his background. Warfighter. Through in and through out. Very educated too, by the way. J.D. Vance, not a career politician. He's sharp. He's fearless. Rubio, like we said, definitely has stepped up. Look, they've learned. They've adjusted. They've locked arms with Trump for a second term. That's already solving problems we were told, quite frankly, couldn't be solved. The border couldn't be solved. You didn't need new legislation. Like he said, turns out you just needed a new president.
How many people have we released into the country in the last month?
Zero. Gosh. Illegal immigration. Let's talk about that. Cut off with enforcement, not excuses. I mean, this is strength. Hey, what about energy? Let's go down the line. Energy. We're drilling again, not begging OPEC, not using our strategic reserve and begging OPEC to drill more, as the previous administration did. Trump's using rescissions, not raising ceilings, and I certainly hope Congress can follow lead with that. And now Iran. The program is dying under rubble. It was supposed to be something we had to live with. Remember, we're just going to have to live with the nuclear Iran. No, we didn't. No, we don't. And thank God, hopefully, not anymore. That's what competence looks like in the year 2025. Man, I'm glad. I'm thankful, and this is good analysis. All right. Stick around, guys. We'll be right back. Well, yeah, let's talk about this a little bit more. I got some more things to say, maybe a different angle. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the Beal and Bear Studios right here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Bill and Abear, your hometown lawyers, man. Go give those guys a buzz if you got some questions on the law. All right. So, what were you saying? The break? Who was reporting what?
Both CNN and MSNBC saying sources say that early U.S. intel assessment suggests strikes in Iran did not destroy those nuclear sites, and if anything, set them back a couple of months.
Okay.
So I guess we'll see.
We'll see. Couple thoughts. All I know is now we have a ceasefire. So,
well, Fox is reporting that the DoD said bombing campaign obliterated Iran nukes. So who are we supposed to believe here?
I'm telling you, man.
The DoD, I guess.
The media. Yeah, I believe the DoD. Before I believe those guys. Yeah. I mean, look. This is. There's a reason why the media is not trusted. You got to listen to programs like this that just give it raw. And opinionated, of course, very opinionated. But we tell you, there's no pretending. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about Iran from a different angle here. Okay, so there are some reports. Take Eric Mack for example at Newsmax. Eric Mack at
Newsmax.
Yeah, a singular version of Newsmax.
Newsmice.
He's reporting that President Trump's airstrike on Iran came after a direct threat of terrorism on U.S. soil. Now he breaks it down, so let's talk about this. And if you just Google Eric Mack this topic on Newsmax, and you probably pull it up. But anyway, so Iran told the U.S. it would activate. I mean, I want you to listen to this. Iran told the U.S. it would activate terrorist proxies inside our country if America struck Iran. All right, that was before the strikes, obviously. Well, that threat came through diplomatic channels. It was official, according to NBC sources. All right, so NBC is reporting that. Trump, if you recall, immediately left the G7 summit. Remember that? Immediately left. Well, according to this report, it was to deal with this threat on Iran. So, soon after, it was just a little behind the scenes here. Soon after, Trump ordered B-2 stealth bombers to hit 3 of Iran's nuclear sites. That's with the 30,000 pound bunker buster, not Baby Billy's.
Baby Billy Daisy Cutter. Baby Billy bunker busters.
No, those daisy cutters will take off a third of a mountain. All right. These are bunker bombers.
I like that. Baby Billy's bunker busters.
Yeah, bunker busters. Anyway. I was in the Army, not the Air Force. The strike was successful. No American lives lost. No shots fired at our planes. I mean, they went in there stealthy. So did the Israelis.
Man.
What? So Trump had already warned the Ayatollah publicly, saying that the U.S. had him in our sights. Now, behind the scenes, a classified threat assessment was shared with GOP congressional leaders. Okay, so behind the scenes, all this is going on, private threat assessment. That became the legal and strategic basis for the strike. Because people are questioning that right now. Oh, AOC wants to impeach. We'll talk about that later. Well, Marine Corps Lieutenant General Jack Bergman confirmed the threat. The threat that Iran had secret cells in the U.S. and apparently still does. So Marine Corps Lieutenant General Jack Bergman, he has confirmed that threat and said the strike was justified to prevent another 9/11. Again, only 19. Took 19 hijackers on 9/11. 19 terrorists. That's it. When asked about Democrats like AOC calling the strike unconstitutional, I love this. General Bergman said, their views are irrelevant. They don't understand national security or threat assessments. And it's so true, man.
It really is.
It's so true. Like, hey, brother, sister, like, go legislate, go talk hot air, go hot air.
Cocky about it, but y'all need to really put things in perspective. Yeah. What do you think you know? Now I government says like this where there is much in the law. I don't think they're gonna stop.
The Marine Lieutenant General just like for I don't know why. I just kind of tend to believe the Lieutenant General from the Marine.
I might tend to believe the lady man in the Navy. a picture of your Facebook windows.
Oh, yeah. What they're being protected from because you just don't see it. And that's a good thing. It's an unfortunate thing that's a reality. We don't know how many terrorist threats the American government protects us from every single day. It's kind of like drainage. You know, you put all this investment in, you protect the community, and it kind of gets out of sight, out of mind. Like, well, why are we investing all that until you need it? You know, or until it's neglected for about 6 months to 9 months, and then you have things starting backing up.
Well, you know how much people take for granted some of the things the government does for them.
Yeah,
these are the same folks that if there was a terror attack, it would take them approximately 5.8 minutes before they start hollering inside job.
Absolutely.
Just like Butler, PA. I was an inside job. Yeah, the president orchestrated for himself to get shot in the ear. That precise.
Hey, someone give that. If that's the case, that shooter deserved to die. But he should have. They should have signed him up to be a sniper because
no kidding.
What a shot! If you're telling me on a moving target, because his head was moving on a moving target, he's purposefully hit the tip of his ear. That's a heck of a shot.
I mean, you remember all the people after 9/11. Oh, it was an inside job just to go Bush go get all the oil in the Iraq. Well, no, it was Afghanistan that did it. I don't know that we got that much oil in Afghanistan.
Our borders. Okay, so all this is going down. Trump took the threat very seriously and shut it down, which is what you want in a commander-in-chief. That's what protecting the homeland looks like. That's what leadership looks like. The strike wasn't reckless. I'm so tired of seeing. I mean, it's like the opposite. It was necessary, number one, and it was executed with precision by a competent national security team. This was extremely strategic, not messy at all. No loss of life, no casualties, no trace of it, quite frankly.
Mind you, when T-Boy shot that 12-pointer. Right there. Yeah. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Got him good.
Exactly. So all the noise from Democrats, the National Democrat Party, doesn't change the fact that Trump prevented a possible terrorist attack on U.S. soil. This should be celebrated. He didn't broadcast it. He didn't ask for applause. He just got it done, which is what a leader does. Go get it done. Not about how it gets done. Who cares? As long as it's lawful, ethical, and moral, get it done. Who cares if the process was messed up? We didn't do the proper channels. Whatever. This is why he's the right man for the job, and this is why the elites need to go. Strong, prepared, and unwilling to let our enemies or the Washington elites dictate the battle. Jeez. I'll applaud for him. All right, guys, stick around. Oh, my favorite part, 232-1542, right around the corner. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the Beal and Bear Studios right here in Acadiana. Hey, go to rumble.com. I forgot to push that Rumble. We need to see you on there. I want you to see us. You can watch us live. You can see all these graphics we put up, like our phone number and things like that. Give us a buzz. Phone lines are wide open, but also follow us on Rumble, and you can chat us on Rumble as well. And it's free. Give us a follow. Go to rumble.com. Look up the Josh Guillory Show. We certainly appreciate that. Let's go to some app chats.
Yeah, we got Kill Switch said that was a true show of American military might.
Yeah.
This ain't weekend at Biden's anymore. That was a good one, Kill Switch.
That was good. Kill Switch, you've been coming strong, man. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. You've been bringing it.
You know, Scott from Plays On brings it too. He gave me some
Yes.
good tips for the garden this morning. I'm going to have to share with you. Brad and Scott says, hey guys, just letting you know, we got turned up in the trial of the show. We need to go back and finish the job with the nuke plant. Trump power.
Woo! Love it. Outside the Acadia, it's a buzz, 844-766-6607. Give us a shout. Renee, what you got today, my man? Bring the heat, baby.
I want to say that just about 85% nonsense of Democrats they're nuts. They got to be neutralized at all costs.
Lots of fighting over there.
Thanks, Renee.
Thanks, Renee.
He was very
Appreciate it.
polite.
Yeah.
You sure, man.
And he brought the heat.
Right.
I like that.
I like when he talks about the pepper plant and his love for Latin women.
That is true, because we
Hispanic
did
women.
try to, and we promoted that, and we asked Hispanic ladies to call in, and we'd link them up with Renee.
And we were trying to hook him up.
Yes, and saying, look, offer still there.
We know
offers
some and Fleur de Lis.
Absolutely. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I meet some folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get your ticket the first time.
Yeah. All right. Deal. Deal.
Just
Call
Renee,
in the
though,
show.
just Renee. Can't go crazy.
Warren, what you got, Warren? Warren brings the heat. He ain't scared. What's
Well,
up?
I was listening to that tape of Trump and it called somebody a physical vote code for a queen.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But anyway, this ain't over. This is a long way from over, man. When they gonna tell you peace, just like the Bible said, when they say peace, there ain't gonna be no peace. They better go put that rabid dog down. They better put him down.
Man.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks kind of slide in there.
That's just code for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you change the culture there from a political standpoint, from a policy standpoint, without changing the regime. But we saw the last time we wanted to play regime change. Okay, it's not all what it cracked up to be.
Mm-hmm.
4,000 lives later, American lives later. Just saying. All right.
Yeah.
So neutralizing a threat and containing a threat a lot of times is a better outcome.
Where's Marvin today?
Marvin. Yeah, I like Marvin's call
Call
yesterday.
in, man. I hope you listen.
Yeah, Marvin brought it yesterday.
Yeah. Some fresh takes.
So let's talk about this more. All right. So we get all these folks like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
And they, like this is impeachable, and this is horrible, and all these things. Anyway, so
her cocktail waitress analysis.
Look, these same Democrats, like this is not unprecedented. These strikes were not unprecedented. Let's break it down. The same doggone Democrats who stay quiet as a little church mouse during Clinton and Obama when Clinton and Obama launched military strikes without Congress, are now screaming that Trump should be impeached for doing, I don't know, the exact same thing. That's really what we're looking at. So again, let's just remember, this past Saturday, President Trump ordered a precise, very limited strike on Iran's nuclear facilities after getting the intelligence that we just briefed you on. Okay, we just went over that. 0 American casualties, minimal civilian impact, and we took out key parts of Iran's nuclear program, which is vitally important to our national security. Couple that with these little sleeper cells that the intel in our national security is telling us that we have. Bernie Sanders, AOC, Jim Himes, but really, and even Republican representative like Massey are calling it unconstitutional, calling the strikes unconstitutional.
Well, Massey never really was on board with much.
No, but still. But AOC and the usual New York crowd are yelling for impeachment, but they're ignoring history. They're ignoring history. Obama bombed Libya and Syria for months, not overnight, not a strategic strike. He bombed Libya and Syria for months. No one called for his impeachment. Clinton launched airstrikes in Sudan. Iraq, remember that during the impeachment process, or the impeachment process in '98? Launched attacks in Iraq. Hey, remember Kosovo? Remember that? We doggone occupied land.
Bosnia.
All without congressional approval. No constitutional crisis then. No outrage. No cries of dictatorship. These attacks on Trump are political theater. And they're also wrong. Article 2 of the Constitution makes the president commander-in-chief. Please read it. That authority includes military strikes, rhinos, especially when they're limited. Also, successful helps, and in defense of national security. Just to put this in perspective, the last declared war was World War II. Have we fought any conflicts since then?
Well, Korea.
Have we fought any? Yeah, you're right.
Vietnam.
Korea, yeah,
Vietnam.
that one. Yeah, I think we were there too. We were in Vietnam.
Vietnam. Let's see. There's the Panama whole
Yeah, we did that one.
situation
We
in
did that one. Yeah, we did that one.
The first
That one too. Yeah, we did that one.
did we get in that Russia Afghanistan war at all?
No,
Oh,
we did
okay,
that
good.
one.
Okay, so then there was some stuff.
Not that we know of.
In,
Well, I don't know. Charlie's War that we were, but no, we of course were.
and then
So yeah,
then Afghanistan.
that one too. We're there. Yeah, we're there.
Libya. I forgot Libya. Yeah. Yemen.
Yeah.
Okay. To Iraq.
Too.
Okay.
No declaration of war.
None.
None. There was authorization, but there was no declaration of war. So, since then, we've conducted hundreds of military operations. We just talked about.
Wait. Authorization versus declaration.
We're going to get into that.
Oh, okay. I was a little confused
man,
for a
no,
second.
it's all good.
All right.
But here's the bottom line on all that. Democrats didn't complain when their guy was in. That's the bottom line. They only found their constitutional voice once Trump started winning. And again, they would rather America suffer if that means Trump has successes. They would rather that. They hate Trump and his followers, quite frankly, more than they love America. So Trump briefed Speaker Johnson before the strike, and the Senate president. The mission was legal, it was strategic, and it was justified. Iran has been attacking our troops, plotting Trump's assassination and shouting death to America for decades. This wasn't the start of a war. This was a long overdue punchback. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Woo, let's finish this topic and so much more. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the Beal and Bear Studios right here in Acadiana. Hey, join us. Give us a call, 232-1542. You could be like our friend Justin, who's about to get on the call. Let's see here.
I was going to answer your question. Mayor
Oh,
Adams withdrew from the Democrat primary
uh-huh.
to run as an independent.
Okay, so he's man,
Mommy.
literally, and that's when you call him a name like he's he wants to give dollars to people out, just like straight rank.
Yeah, you don't work, you just
That's right. All right, let's go to the show again here today.
I think because the Democrats are pissed about this because they were not informed. Usually, if you go back and you look in history, he formed the Gang of Eight that he would do this operation. I think that what they're pissed about because you had Nancy Pelosi that came out today and said, no, I think it was a good job.
Yeah, so did Amy. In fact, it had Democrats. The world would own.
He really should have informed some of the leadership. To be fair and honest.
That's a fair point, Justin. No, really, that's a fair point. You have senior leadership up there on both sides, and they're identified.
Would you trust Chuck Schumer with that kind of information?
Well, here's the sense that he would be informing them in a classified briefing, so it's against the law.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Look, hey, that's a fair point, man. That's a fair point. I would have look, in my preference, yes, I agree with you. The only thing I can think of is if we give him the benefit of the doubt, then maybe there was some justification for that. But yeah, we definitely should
another
have.
Point.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Another point, guys, real quick. You were talking about CNN saying that they didn't totally blow it up like he said.
Yeah.
Caroline Levitt kind of confirmed that in her statement, saying that some leaker at the Department of Defense shouldn't have leaked out that information.
Yeah, because the DOD came back and said the complete opposite. Said no, it's complete destruction. Yeah. Hey, we don't know. We don't know, but I think it was a good strike. I think it was a message, and we have a ceasefire now. So well,
have a good day, guys.
Hey, you too, Justin. You too. Thanks, bud. All right, who we got? Randall.
Yep.
Randall, what's up, buddy? Thanks for calling in.
Hey guys. First of all, go Tigers!
Go Tigers! I'm a Tigers fan too.
Yeah. Second of all, kudos to the aircraft crew. Doing what they did, 40 hours or whatever. I mean, my God, wow. I guess they had toilets in there. They really held it.
Yeah.
You mentioned about Bill Clinton. Remember whenever the Monica Lewinsky thing broke out? Well, what did he do?
Yeah.
Bombed some factory, killed a janitor.
Yeah.
Bombed outright. Did he tell everybody what he was doing?
Nope. He was too busy with his auto penis scandal.
Oh,
Demographic, body then said, well, he's doing his job. Forget about the little thirst he had with the intern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nothing to do in the.
Hey, yeah. Thanks, Randall. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, man. 30-hour man. I heard what you said. 30-hour missions. That's
crazy.
Pretty impressive.
They got either they got some stuff in their suits or they got some. I don't know.
Now remember that was DEI. DEI said we couldn't say that anymore.
They did. Oh
yeah, that
was on the list of.
Yeah.
It's so.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the taboo. That was one of the words on the unpublished list of things that offend people would tell you what those words are. You're supposed to offends them, and you all know that.
Like signs in Los Angeles,
what?
Because, and they said they put those up on purpose to because that was where the first gay bar or something in LA. I don't know. Something crazy, but they had a drag queen out there taking it down, and it was a big presentation, and the homophobic U-turn signs are gone, thank goodness.
Thank goodness. I know you actually very oppressive.
How dare you
walk past a U-turn sign?
Have people U-turn in front before they get there.
Like Rick yeah. He's in the front line. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, some artillery in there, and I don't know.
It would be about as silly as these silly arguments of impeachment. But really, to say this is unprecedented, like, oh, Trump just is going unhinged again. So, remember, Iran had been disseminated. All right, just annihilated by Israel with those rockets.
Decimated.
I'm sorry. Terry strength. How's that? They were vulnerable. They have nukes. When your back's against the wall and you're fighting someone that you really believe is evil, and I guess it's a religious type war, man, it was very, like, you have intel that they have nukes, and now you have intel that they had sleeper cells, still do, in the United States. Yeah, a strategic attack on nuclear sites sounds about right to me. Thank you, Mr. President. All right, guys, stick around. Hour number 2, we're going to switch gears a little bit, different topics, and it's going to be a blast. Stick around.
You're listening to The Josh Guillory Show, your base for truth, common sense, and a good time.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the... Oh, I messed that up, huh?
Where?
Wait, oh, you looked at me weird. Yeah, I remain your humble host. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, well, that too.
Yeah, that just messing the whole... Can we start this over
I was
now?
only smiling because we got some chats in
Oh,
the
well,
Rumble.
that's
So when
okay.
you tease the Rumble, I'll tell you about the
Yeah,
chats.
okay. So our dear audience,
Start over.
sorry. Yes, welcome to hour number 2 of the Josh Guillory Show.
All this greatness.
Yes, all the greatness. Hey, we are broadcasting live from the Beal and Bear studios right here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Woo, your hometown lawyers. Give those guys a call. You got questions, man. Go to the app chat, buddy.
Oh, not the app chat, the Rumble chat.
Rumble chat. And by the way, go to rumble.com, please. Go to rumble.com. Follow us. Look up the Josh Guillory Show. But you can also see some really cool things. You can see old shows and you can see us. All right.
Bandit 06 says the pilots take what's... Now, we're talking about the B-2 pilots and
All right.
that long-ass mission they flew to go drop those bombs.
It was long.
30-something hours. The pilots take what's called go pills. When the mission is complete, they sometimes take no-go pills to sleep.
Oh.
Doesn't sound very safe, but I'm sure they have scientists that take care of all that stuff so we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, scientist called Uncle Sugar, and he
Uncle
don't
Sugar.
care.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just like those.
Get her done.
It's just like those parachutes. You know what I mean? Like airborne. Like those are not designed for comfort. Those are designed to get your butt down there as quick as possible, but not so quick where you die.
Well, you're also flying one of the most, if not some of the most sophisticated equipment in the world that could probably fly itself.
Oof. Hey.
I mean, it's some precision.
It's
with
pretty
those
interesting.
machines.
All right, let's switch gears here. So yesterday we covered the interest rates. All right, little different
They
gear
go up?
here.
No.
Well, they haven't gone down. I'll tell you that. Well, we covered one member, a governor of the Federal Reserve yesterday. So if you're on rumble.com, look up the Josh Guillory Show. You can pull up that episode from yesterday. You can see us and listen to it. We're going to build on that. So I came across another article, a different one than yesterday. This one from Brian Mina at CNN. That's right. Yeah. See, you give some diversity of thought. Well, Mr. Mina says that, he just confirmed, I think, what we've been saying now for quite some time, just on the air, just a few moments, a few couple days. But President Trump's trade and monetary instincts, they're proving right. The data is starting to support him. And we're still kind of early in it. It's June 24th. What does that give us? 5 months? But enough of a sample size to see with objectivity whether or not his moves have been right. And I think they are. His instincts certainly have been right. I mean, this is a guy that had a success in his first term, especially economically, that had 4 years on the sidelines to observe. He's back with a mission, man. So President Trump's trade and monetary instincts, we should take note of this. And so should even people in the leaders in the Democrat Party. These are areas where you could possibly, if you put your country first, you could possibly find some common ground on, and stop fighting on silly things. All right, so here's what's happening. Michelle Bowman, that's Trump's federal vice chair for supervision, is pushing for a rate cut as early as next month. Yes, we want that. She says inflation is under control and the feds need to act now to protect American jobs. I agree. I think it's past due. Trump-appointed Fed Governor Christopher Waller agrees. He said that that's what we covered, and the inflation impact from tariffs will be minor and short-lived. These are all things that we can forecast a little bit. And I'll tell you whose forecasts were wrong: CNN, MSNBC, and all those guys.
Well, there's still... I saw one MSNBC
Jeez.
today, just a few minutes ago, in fact. Oh, toy makers saying tariffs starting to kick in, toy prices going up. What? Really? When? What toys? Tell me so I don't have to buy them, so I can buy the ones that aren't going up.
Exactly.
Everyone else is doing fine.
Exactly. Look, even Goolsbee from the Chicago Fed, who is a Biden-era voice, even he's softening on this. He says if inflation stays flat, the Fed may return to rate cuts soon. His words.
What they waiting for? Well, they should have returned to rate cuts this month.
Well, they say they want it to be. I know with the numbers that came out, but they say this one. But look, this is a Chicago Fed member. This is a Biden appointee. For him to even say that as early as next month, that's the news. That's the point. It's. You wouldn't expect that from him.
But they don't want to let go of those high rates, right? Banks are making money, and if they bring interest rates down, everyone else is going to make money.
And you know who's paying some of that? The federal government, me and you, all our audience, paying the debt because of that. That's why that's another reason why national debt being so high is a bad thing. If we lower interest payments, that alone, just to lower your interest payments, just that alone, we're paying not us, and not on our behalf of our people, not American interest. We're paying other interest. We're paying other people's interest by paying our interest. Like that?
We don't know what the F we're doing.
That's President Trump's words today.
I mean, honestly, we don't know what we're doing because, if we did, things would be a lot different.
Well, I think Trump knows what he's doing.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's all the other people that he's trying to course correct.
I don't understand. I get why you understand. I understand why they want to fight because it's pure hate. But, I mean, in your message, while it's self-serving, your message is about the country, usually, or the American people. I'm talking about Democrats. Like, you should put the country first. These are wins. I get it. And I know when a Democrat president's there, fair game. You can ask me to do the same thing for Republicans to find common ground. I get it. And I hope I do. I feel like I do.
You already know the answer, though. You've said it multiple times. The elites. What are these Fed people? The elites.
Yeah.
I mean,
getting paid,
Jerome
baby.
Powell was married to Andrea Mitchell, who's a long broadcaster, right? I think that's who he's married to.
Jerome Powell himself admitted any energy price spikes from the Middle East conflict probably won't last and aren't driving long-term inflation. So I don't know what his problem is. Like, he just said that. So you can't use Israel and Iran's issues to delay the interest rates going down. And this is a domino effect. When they say fighting for American jobs, that does have an impact, a direct impact. Want to make it more inviting to do business here. Look what Trump's doing with the tariffs. Look at manufacturing. Look how many jobs we've announced on this show alone in 5 months. This is all part of the bigger play to get our economy back on its track.
And I was wrong. It's not Jerome Powell. It's former chair Alan Greenspan that's married to a news anchor. So
I didn't know. Okay.
Andrea Mitchell. She's the chief foreign affairs correspondent.
Well, Mr. Powell needs to get on board, in my opinion. All right. Bowman added that retailers are too scared to raise prices right now because American consumers won't tolerate it. Okay. That's real world pressure. Trump understands it. And the Fed is starting to, wake up. I'm telling you, I tell these guys all the time, I'll say it again. Go out to your office, go find this green area that's called grass. Okay. I know it's a thing. Okay. Go out and touch some. Go out and touch some grass. Be with the real people. Understand the pain that the American people are going through. And while some people benefit from keeping these hikes up, and while it may feel good and responsible, I'm the bigger adult in the room. I don't think there's much analysis to that right now. I don't. I think it's past time to lower the rates. And I know it's not the most exciting topic to talk about, but man, this one has direct impact on jobs, our economy. Talk about a little spur, a little gas on the fire.
Speaking of gas on the fire, when we come back, we got some our listeners are bringing it on Ab Chat today.
I love it. All right, guys, listen, on the break, I want you to go to rumble.com. It takes like moments. On this break, go to rumble.com, just a few little moments, find the Josh Guillory Show and give us a follow. We certainly appreciate you. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the Beal and Bear Studios right here in Lafayette, Louisiana. That was abrupt.
My bad.
Time for a little
high-level analysis.
Let's go. Do we have app chats?
We got app chats.
Let's see. That's high level.
Hey, T-Bird said the White House put out a statement and said both Schumer and Jeffries were called, but only Schumer answered.
Oh.
Well, good to know.
Yeah, see,
Thanks,
there
T-Bird.
you go.
We missed that.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Boomer and Scott. He said the one person I wouldn't have told is Hegseth, leaker in chief.
Oh, come on now.
Oh,
He didn't leak it.
He would have put that in that,
Is that
signal
Boomer?
Chat.
That was Boomer?
That was
I
Boomer.
get what he's saying. Yeah, because of that signal.
And Dezio. Dezio said, Martha Jean's toys be going up.
Oh, Lord. Talking about Legos. Talking about Legos, guys.
To live video.
Talking about Legos. Talking about Legos.
Martha Jean still uses the viewing rooms. I didn't know anybody still use those. You know, they go out there with the hose when they're done. And they just spray it off. But yeah, Martha Jean still goes. Take me a little shot.
Oh, man. All right, that's interest rates. Drop them. Some of the Federal Reserve's agreeing. President Trump's been called. Now, let's switch gears to this topic I know you're going to love.
What?
Well, I don't think Cassidy likes RFK Jr. anymore.
Well, Josh, what we need to do is have a succinct set of plans.
Bill Cassidy's mad at RFK Jr.
Get out.
He says he doesn't like him anymore. He's not his friend. He didn't brief him on the vaxxer thing. He said he would. He said everything would go through Senator Cassidy's office. He's not happy with him.
Surprised it took this
mad at him. All right. So, have you ever heard of a publication called Raw Story?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. But I didn't until the other day. And actually, these guys have some pretty good stuff. So Eric De La Garza from Raw Story, he's reporting that Senator Cassidy is now criticizing the very man he helped to confirm, the very man he drug across the finish line for his buddy, President Trump.
Because I was the only one who could do it. I'm about the most conservative person in this race, and I'll tell you, I've done everything the president. You know, I work with him. It's very, very strong.
Well, he's mad at him because Kennedy is finally cleaning house at the CDC, something that should have been happening a long, long time ago. COVID brought that out. We didn't know anything about the CDC until COVID.
Yeah, but he forgot to let the senator know because, you know, he's supposed to keep him updated.
I'm telling you, he's mad at him.
Every morning, got to give him
Feelings
a little
are hurt.
You think Cassidy requested like a little daily briefing?
Yeah, a little RFK Jr. briefing.
A little daily, like instead of daily presidential briefing, you know, you get the daily briefing.
They can discuss things. So he gets
castrated Cassidy.
So let's talk about some facts. All right. Senator Cassidy urged the Trump administration to postpone the first. I gave him a Minnesota accent. Postpone. Yeah, you know. Postpone the first meeting of Kennedy's newly formed vaccine advisory panel. Okay. He says the panel is too small and lacks enough credentialed scientists. Because yes.
Oh, wait, didn't they have credentialed scientists before?
What kind of credentials are you talking about?
Oh, you mean ones that are on the payroll?
Yeah.
For the big pharma?
Yeah.
Is that what you want, Bill?
Those guys?
Wow. Well, you know, they were very generous last election. And, you know, I really count on those guys' support.
Just to refresh everybody's memory here, 712?
No, 17 or like 17 or
so. Oh,
something.
gosh. All of them on the panel, basically, all but one, were receiving donations and, no, not donations. They're receiving money from pharmaceutical companies to leverage or opinionate, or one, actually, a couple were consultants.
Sounds like a bribe.
Definitely at minimum gives the appearance of that. Airball minimum. At minimum, it's influence.
I mean, you slide me a couple $100,000, I might be.
You wouldn't do that.
No, absolutely not. I wouldn't be on the panel.
Yeah, well, you know, how science.
I'm better with words.
Yeah, that's the folks he got rid of. Okay, thank you. Why wasn't that barred anyway? What you would think that there would be an ethical rule on that. You know, don't take money from people that you decide whether they get approved or not. Whether their medication has an indication or not, you get to get money from. No, man.
What I don't understand is why do we have a Food and Drug Administration and a CDC?
You want to go there? Why do we have a lot of agencies? Why do we have so many of these?
And the NIH.
All of them.
But I'm just saying, what do we need to combine that all together like that?
Talking common sense again.
Like the CDC is not a government agency; it's a independent agency, kind of like the Federal Reserve Bank.
Yeah.
It's goofy.
Yeah,
it's ours. We should have control over it.
I'll give the federal. Well, both of these guys should have objectivity. So I don't know. Like what I'm saying is they can measure success based on a formula. There's some objective measurement.
But it's all government appointees anyway. So what's the point? It's not independent.
It ain't independent. Hey, it's far from independent.
I mean,
all right. So Cassidy claims Kennedy's 8 appointees may be biased against mRNA vaccines and don't have strong backgrounds in epidemiology or microbiology.
Very good.
Okay, I did that one.
You did it.
Yeah. So
all
that's
the
his
words, Joe. You did it. You got it.
Questions. So the panel is replacing the CDC's. You're right. Old 17-member vaccine committee, which Kennedy fired despite promising Cassidy. That's Cassidy's words. Promising Cassidy during confirmation that he wouldn't.
He said, "I'll keep you updated."
Okay.
As he should with every senator.
Yes. And he reports.
Yeah, he puts out the newsletter.
Yes, exactly. I mean, can you imagine?
If he had to answer to 535 people plus the administration.
Like, come on.
Get out of here with all that.
See, remember, there's this little cartoon, I'm a Bill on Capitol Hill. I love it.
Not a Bill Cassidy.
No. Everybody in Washington, the land of Oz, should watch that. It tells you about how bills are passed, but it also gives you a good little, or at least a good reference to separation of powers, and there's 3 branches of government.
Yeah, that's not the Magics. That's part. I forgot that show's name.
I'm a Bill on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, but it's just part of a show, right?
Yeah, it is. It was. It was a children's educational show.
I just can't remember the name.
That's all right. But did you ever watch Mr. Rogers?
Who did?
That's what I'm saying. I just want to confirm.
He's a great man. Hey, he was a military vet.
Wasn't he a sniper? Or is that a rumor?
Sniper or fighter pilot? He was a badass.
He had grenades in his mouth.
I bet Warren or Renee knows, and they're going to tell us when we go to the phone.
I bet you so. All right. So, yeah, he said that Cassie said that Kennedy broke his promise and he wants the meeting stopped until a CDC director is confirmed.
Oh,
man.
Call an ambulance.
Someone needs to tell the senator that this is executive branch pace, not legislative branch pace, and surely not senator pace. So you're just a little confused. You're in the wrong building. You see, you're in the wrong building. You're in the slow building.
Hey,
see,
but Senator,
Cassidy's in the fast building, or Kennedy's in the fast building.
There won't be an incumbent next presidential election. So, I mean, if really you want to make a change and you want to let your voice be known, if you can take some time out from doing your Facebook videos and TikTok, well, throw your hat in the ring, man.
Yeah. And some of these federal judges, too, you throw your hat in the ring since you want to be micro presidents.
You and the wizard, was it Verlin? I forget his name, but you know the wizard that would run every year?
Oh, gosh. Yes. I forgot his name, but yeah.
I think he might have passed.
You think? Oh, okay. You think he was a real wizard?
I think he believed he was a real wizard, and I think that's all that really matters.
All right, guys, stick around. Phone lines are wide open when we get back. 232-1542, and I can't wait to hear from you. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the Beal and Bear Studios right here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Your hometown lawyers, give those guys a call. Bill and Bear right here again in Lafayette, servicing all South Louisiana, actually, though. So that's good.
And beyond, I'm sure, if you need be.
All 64 parishes. Look, phone lines are wide open. You give us a call, 232-1542. Outside the area, 844-766-6607. Also, guys, you can stream us live on rumble.com. Go to rumble.com. Look up the Josh Guillory Show. Please give us a follow. Check us out. Let's go to JP. JP, thanks for your patience, my man. What you got today?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. I'm just going to kind of save y'all because I know y'all have jobs that you have to keep.
Thank you.
You know, and
thank you.
You know, the following commentary does not reflect the views of the host or the radio station. Shut up, J-Cat. Shut up, Bill Cat. Nobody cares what you think anymore.
I mean,
and
really?
you made yourself irrelevant when you stabbed in the back. I owe you an explanation. Your time is up. Just shut up
and don't run.
I'm just gonna and just don't even run. I'm gonna save everybody the trouble. Nobody in here, in Louisiana, likes you or is gonna vote for you. Shut up and go away now. As far as inflation and Fed, everybody else has proven the ability to work their way into President Trump's inner circle in the last two terms and kind of stab him in the back. You know, we saw it in the first term a lot. Now we're seeing it with all the names. You know, MTG and Tucker Carlson and all these people. This chairman of the Fed has got to go. He's obviously doing this for political gain now. He's doing this for political gain because he's holding back the economy because God forbid he let loose.
Yeah.
You know, and if, you know, in the position like I am, you know, about to start over again with building, I'm ready for interest rates to come down so I can make a move. But I'll tell you, if it keeps up and the interest rate stays like it is, I'm just going to pay for everything with cash, and you're not going to have any of my interest.
I mean,
I'm at the point now where
JP, a lot of people are getting that way. A lot of businesses are getting that way, and you need a functioning economy like that. It needs a balance. And hey, look, I'm a co-owner of a title company. Trust me, I'm all about the interest rates going down. And did I tell y'all it's Guillory and Barnhill Title? Guillory and Barnhill Title. Did I say that? Oh, cheap plug. Sorry.
Oh, and I will say they do great work.
We're just going to move to cash. We're just going to move to cash, and you can be as stingy as you want.
You see that, Mr. Powell? Thank you, JP. Y'all listen to JP, Federal Reserve. See, all your buddies are making money off that interest rates, but I think JP is probably right on the businesses that can. Now, the other businesses that can't, like, you're hurting them. You're hurting cash flow. You know, some of these businesses need lines of credit to float a deal. Sometimes these nice little deals go up or for like a mom and pop shop, but they need the capital for 60 days to float an operation, float payroll until they get reimbursed or until they get paid for their services or the clients come, accounts receivable, like all the things that businesses have to do. Okay. Like, hey, Mr. Powell, you're screwing them. You're screwing the little guy because you're not gonna hurt the big guy. They're gonna do what JP said, or they'll bank some other country, some other current. I'm like, they ain't rich for being stupid.
Well, you're not just stagnating the economy; you're stagnating these mom and pop businesses.
Yeah,
you are hindering their ability to expand, to grow, because they don't have the liquid capital to be able to just up and buy stuff.
Yeah.
Why? Because you keep rates so high they can't afford it.
Yeah, and this is an easy win, and it takes the whole team, Mr. Chair. It takes the whole team. Okay. Every time y'all put a benchmark in front of us, oh, it's the election, then we're going to lower rates. Okay. Oh, once inauguration, then we're going to lower rates because it's going to be more stable, because we're going to have stability. Well, we actually do have stability, but you're not doing anything.
And you're not alleviating the pressure caused by Biden's inflation.
Ooh, man.
I mean, you have got to release the pressure and let it tone down a bit.
Yes, just a tiny.
I mean, stagflation is not a good thing.
No way. All right, let's go straight to the phones. Caller, you are live on the Josh Guillory Show. Thanks for calling in. What you got, caller?
This is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who?
William.
Oh, it's our friend William.
That's our buddy William. William, I bragged on you the whole next day when you called. What you got today, William? Educate me and Jamie.
I watched that Jerome Powell conference on Fox Business Day.
All right.
I got 4 words for you.
Go for it.
Jerome Powell screwed us.
William, can you listen? I need you to go to Washington, William, and I need you to bring bottled water though, because there's something in the water over there make you lose all that common sense you have. Okay, so we're gonna need to save up our allowance here, and I need to get you over to Washington and talk some common sense to these folks over there. You think you could do that? Could you handle that?
I don't know, maybe.
I think he'll school them.
Now, William, for the folks again, remind them, how old are you, buddy?
12.
That's my guy. All right.
I got a daughter almost your age, William. You sound like an upstanding young man.
Yeah, sound like you're going places.
In about 5 years, you just keep calling.
I love that. 4 words for you guys. He's got it. Thanks, William. Love that. Oh, well. Sorry, William. Oh, man, that's great. Love when William calls. Who we going to? Warren. What you got, Warren? You got to beat William. You got to beat William. He came hot.
Well, Bill Cassidy, he's a Benedict Arnold, and I appreciate the first caller. We need to get off to this guy because we got a lot of people like him in Louisiana, up there in Baton Rouge, that we need to take care of. And I could say Adam Schiff would be the last person I would want to know anything from day one. When I listened to that man, I knew something wasn't right about him. And I didn't say nothing. Then Moon come out and say, we're a small G string. That was like confirmation, something ain't right with this cat. So, but what scares me now is they've moved all these Muslims all over the world. So even if Israel and Iran, settle down, somebody's going to come out of the woodwork and do something stupid, and it's going to cause everybody to bust out fighting again. But you got too many extremists and Islamists. Watch and see. We got a bunch of them here. That's what's scary. Thank you, Josh.
Well, thank you, Warren. I appreciate that.
Muslims are not bad people, folks.
No, but he's referring to radical Islamic terrorists.
And that
are
bad people.
Totally different. No, I have real good friends that are Muslim.
Several.
It's all good,
But they are not, and we just got to be very careful that we don't paint with a broad brush.
No, but if we extract the point, and the point he's making is very hostile region. It kind of goes to what we've been saying. They've been like that for a while. That region's been like that for a while. Very emotional region. I mean, it really is. Just being honest with you. They respect strength, brutal strength. That's what they respect. Okay? It's a culture thing. It's all good, though. All right?
I just don't want folks getting all spouty and treating, some of our friends of different denominations with some disrespect.
Just like every Catholic priest didn't molest a boy. All right, let's go straight to I went straight there. That's right.
First, you tell the Pope to,
stay in his lane.
You all but signed his.
No, J.D. Vance sealed the deal.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Let's just be honest with you. Okay, I just said, but then I retracted.
Renee will tell you.
Renee, what you got, Renee?
Yeah, we just need one place to have a big broad brushes.
All right.
For Iran. Paint that whole place red. And Fred Rogers. There was a Fred Rogers in the Marine Corps that was high speed, but not the one persons. The one TV person, right? He wants you to exercise. I can see, and he's kind of like almost slightly leaning to the left. Just think if we had a Fred Rogers from the Marine Corps on the kid program, how many? Band and truss, side straddle hops, obstacle courses, toy tank battles, and every fun thing else with fireworks we'd have on that show.
Thanks, Renee.
Love it. Oh, thanks, Renee. All right, guys, look, we're going to take a tiny little break right quick. We'll keep those phone lines open. We can't wait to hear from you. Also, go to rumble.com. Look up the Josh Guillory Show. Give us a follow. You got a few minutes. It takes only maybe a little bit more than a few seconds. Rumble.com. Look up the Josh Guillory Show. Thank you. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasted live from the Beal and Bear Studios right here in Acadiana. Beal and Bear, your hometown lawyers. Give those guys a call. You got legal questions.
We at the end already.
Huh?
We at the end almost.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
Whew.
Mandela affected everybody with the whole Mr. Rogers thing. Renee was right.
Well, I said the same thing.
Mr. Rogers never served in any of that. I could have sworn I heard multiple times that he had, but
yeah. And I'm fueling the fire. Yeah, he was a sniper. He's a Vietnam veteran.
yeah, Morgan Freeman was a fighter pilot and all that. I heard all of them.
All right, let's switch gears. We're going to go back to the great state of Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Have you heard of insurance?
Don't stop. What now? You want to get me started?
All right. So Tim Temple says we could do more. Well, he's probably right. Let's talk about it. So, Mr. Still pushing for real reform to bring down the sky-high insurance rates, hurting families and businesses across our great state. That's good. We like that. All right, let's talk about a few recent history, few facts of recent history. Lawmakers, we just finished the legislative session. It was a regular session. Some are saying they ended that session without passing any meaningful insurance reform. That's what some folks are saying. I'm just saying.
That's what my pocketbook is saying after my insurance doubled this month.
Yeah. I saw. That's crazy. That's crazy.
$1,000 is gone from my account.
That's crazy. And there were a few things I think would have an impact. I think this is a result of not inviting everybody to the table, to include the insurance commissioner, to include the insurance industry.
No, this is a result of I got some people who are pulling the strings and they telling me what to do. They told me how to do it. They said it would fix it. It would make them some money, make me some money, make everybody some money. Maybe except for the people. But
so Insurance Commissioner Temple is calling for a special session. I can't say
Temple, your insurance didn't go down. I mean, you got to blame the insurance commissioner. That's his job. We put that on him.
I'm so sick of special sessions. That's just me. Get this stuff done in a regular session.
Have we had since Landry?
And John Bell too. Special session. You have special sessions. You have regular.
You brought up. John Bell, bro. We were just better. And what do we get? More the same. More that we.
This is a topic, or this is a point that the insurance commissioner is making that we didn't talk too much about, if not at all, over the session. I didn't hear anybody talking about it. We didn't talk about it. But he's calling for not just a special session, but a special session so that the legislatures can focus exclusively on insurance, taxes, I'm going to come back to that, and other cost drivers. So one of the most simplest ideas, very simple, cutting the 3% state tax on insurance premiums. Did many of you guys know that you're paying that? Did you know? 3%.
3% of what premiums we're paying, though, is a hefty chunk of change.
Yeah. So when they go up, guess what else goes up? Your taxes. So state tax on insurance premium, 3%, was completely ignored. A bill to do just that, a bill to eliminate this 3% tax, didn't even make it out of committee.
Stop it.
That is one. Now, I don't know how big of a 3% adds up.
Like 18.
But check this out. Of all things, because the government, the fact, you know the bill will go down at least at 3%. This is one of the few,
guarantee.
Like, that's a guarantee. This is the easiest win you could possibly. This is the only legislation that could have directly said, "Hey, I'm guaranteeing we're gonna reduce it by 3%."
You remember the governor said, "Oh, it's gonna go down at least 10%." Had this maybe actually made it through, he could have maybe backed that up a little bit. Maybe, because
that's a direct correlation. So Temple argues that cutting that tax would reduce premiums immediately without hurting insurers. That's true. This would not hurt the insurance companies. So they would have no reason to say, well, I mean, we're losing revenue. No, this is to the state of Louisiana.
But then they would lose revenue.
Exactly. So, and it's not your revenue. It's our money that we trust you with. Jeez. So here's the deal. That 3% tax on your premium, may not sound like much. But when families are getting hit with $4,000, $5,000, even $6,000 premiums, homeowners bills, that's hundreds of dollars we could put back into people's pockets literally tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And Baton Rouge couldn't even get that passed. Why? That's an easy win. That was an easy one. Let's go to the caller. Caller, you're live on the Josh Guillory Show. What's your name? Where you calling from?
All right, this is okay. This is Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
So I wanted to know why and Chucky or Matt. But reason they're mad is information. But y'all said that earlier. No, y'all said y'all don't know what the heck